But my doctor said it wasn't really contagious. So I don't know, this bump. You guys might not want to get close to me right now. So what?
Too late.
Hey, we're doing another episode of the BM show.
I'm glad that this show is done remotely. Just whatever is going on with you, Mike. That's maybe
As he's going on with me.
Wow, that is the best of the best, which is what the best is, right? That's what we're talking about this week.
You're the best around.
One of our side projects, if you haven't heard, currently the first 2 weeks are up, of Otherworld episodes 1 and 2. One of the characters, Trace, he's played by Tony O'Dell, who is one of the Cobra Kai over in the Karate Kid universe. He showed up in one episode of Cobra Kai when they had a reunion with Johnny and his buddies, but he's also in Cobra Kai, or I'm not Cobra Kai, I'm Karate Kids Part 1 and 2, I believe. So
if you're a Karate Kid fan, you owe it to yourself to watch Otherworld because it does have that connection.
Also,
only connection though, but it does have that connection.
Some of the music in one of the episodes I think was very similar, but yeah. Or am I thinking about one of the movies we did? I don't remember. There's so many things we've watched.
That we do too much.
We do too much.
So today
lives.
Today we're going to have a talk about part 3 of our favorite YouTubers. And this time we actually have, traveling from galaxies far away to be here, we have Matt from the BM Squared.
Greetings, Earthlings.
There you go. So, and then after that, we're going to have a discussion, maybe, possibly, about the upcoming Street Fighter movie, because I decided to throw something out, and Ben had some choice words for me, I guess.
Well, my choice words were, you don't seem to know who some of the people are, and I know who they are. So if you went through it with me, I can give some backstory on who some of these people are.
Well, I thought your choice words were, Mike, you don't know anything. And that was pretty much it. Which is true.
And even though, like, I did put it in writing, and you're showing me the writing right now, so I did say that, but that's not how I meant it. I have to backpedal here.
Don't worry, Ben. It's not contagious. Remember. All right, so let's get started. Let's jump into these top YouTubers and let's see what we like to do when we're not doing the BM show. So you guys ready to start this up?
Yes.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start sharing the screen with one of mine here. This one right here, I can't even say his name right now. LOCLOUDANE. And this, I love this channel because this really reminds me a lot of our Mix and Mike Dicks, because he covers a lot of stuff with RPGs, but he'll go into like broken characters or rating the characters or the job classes of the RPGs, and it just kind of makes me think of how I throw out those videos with the here's the steps to do this and that to make your character powerful to get through this part. He kind of does the same thing. He kind of goes over it a little bit faster. He makes these lists of who's broken and why they're broken. And one thing that's really cool about his channel is he's very, receptive. He does respond to people, and he actually responded to me. He put out a top 50 broken characters in RPGs, and I threw one out back at him for a pretty obscure RPG game. And he responded back to me saying that he hadn't played that game, so he wasn't familiar with it. But then, like, a month later, he puts out the top 60 broken characters, and that character shows up like at the very first entry on the list. So it was kind of cool to see that he does respond to the people that comment, even to go and try games and stuff that he normally wouldn't have found out about. So if you're interested in RPGs And if you're interested in like somebody who's rating the characters or rating the job classes to kind of get an idea on what you can do and what works best for those, his channels are a really good source for that. Now, I don't always 100% agree with him on when he does his rankings, but you know, he does a good job explaining it, so I understand where he's coming from. So this is definitely one to check out if you're a big RPG fan.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. So then next we have one of Matt's.
All right. Yes. This one is actually becoming pretty big. This guy was featured on Joe Rogan just like, I don't know, a few weeks ago. And it's like highly rated for normal people and probably especially for weirdos like me. But they take all these myths and they basically tell you how the myth goes. Like you're watching the story as if it's, legit. And then he kind of debunks it wherever he can. Sometimes he can't really do that. Sometimes he can, only little bits here and there. And this is fun. It's good stuff, and I love it when he hits something where he's like, I can't debunk this. Sometimes he'll be like, I don't know, I can't go either way on this. But yeah, there's some wacky stuff in there. Now, here's the thing: is he has this. Most people might consider at least somewhat annoying sidekick, a talking fish. And he does the voice, he's done like real professional voiceovers and stuff. And it can be a little bit annoying, but altogether I think it adds. It's good.
Is it a puppet?
No, it's like a fish swimming around, and then he puts like visuals of his mouth speaking, I think.
Oh, so it's like a Conan O'Brien type of thing.
Yeah, more like that.
Okay.
And what's the name of this channel?
The Y Files.
There we go.
And their logos, it makes you always think what the WTF. You see the T. You see the T when you look at the logo.
Yeah, you do see it. Yeah. That's
Yeah, I see Wrestling Federation.
yes, the World Wrestling Federation. What the world ain't watching.
But I'm late at the... Go ahead, I'm sorry, Matt.
Sorry, it's because of the question mark. It's gonna be WTF? What is the question mark?
Well, I'm looking at this one right here, this picture for the Surviving the Undead, and it's making me think of the Zombie Army 4 game.
Yeah. That is making me think of that too. Like it looks like one of those video games. Like
Okay, I'm gonna give you like an example of one of the episodes for somebody who's a super whacked out person like myself. They talk about one particular case of remote viewing, which what only a couple of years ago I thought was okay. Are they using drones and satellites or something? But no, it's people doing their psychic weird stuff, seeing stuff with their mind. And the government funded it for decades, and they have the case of one of these main ones, one of these main guys. The story is amazing, and they had one point where the government pays him to remote view Mars 1,000,000 years ago, and he doesn't know that at first, the way that they do this. And this guy's like saying, okay, there's a bunch of people here, and they're like really, really tall, and there's like a ginormous pyramid. What I don't know what I'm looking at here, but okay. And then he says more stuff, and then it's like, oh, okay.
Well, the thing is, the government will fund anything because the government isn't really paying for it.
Well, they actually don't keep funding things if it doesn't give them something worth their money. For 20 years? Well, if it's not going to benefit them and like, I don't know, stroke fire.
It's the whole thing of like, after I've been kind of giving you something for free for so long, how am I supposed to take it away from you?
No, they don't mind about this. This is not like it's trying to make some one lawmaker happy because he's giving them something that's putting in the pockets of his investor, guys that support him. No, this is something totally different.
What happens there's a thing called okay, when it's legal it's called a commission. When it's illegal it's called a kickback. And there's kickbacks for such worthless projects that will go on for, you said 20 years. Yeah, okay. I can see stuff where after 20 years, maybe the first couple of years, they got everything they needed to do out of it, but then we stopped getting paid.
Well, the reason why it was valuable to them is because it was like confirmation for their spies, and in the field, they can like get confirmation of these things. It's like proven.
I just like how the government went and admitted that UFOs are real, like right when the economy was at its worst.
Yeah, it's a convenient time.
It's like, hey, I know you can't afford lunch, but did I tell you that UFOs are real?
Yeah, I never know if it's all somebody's plan or whatever, but I think it's usually they're like, oh crap. I think China might tell you guys that it's real, so we got to say it first so we don't look so bad. Stuff like that, you know.
Because I don't think China would care.
No, they don't look bad. They don't
The
look bad.
idea of Independence Day, the Independence Day movie, and I notice how I say the idea. I like the idea of the Independence Day movie where the aliens come and the entire world unites against them.
Mm.
Because that's the whole until all are one, the Transformers whole mythos, you know.
Mm-hmm.
There's something we got to do for a movie one day, Mike. We got to do Transformers the animated film.
Mm-hmm. Transformers the movie.
You're talking about from 1984, was it?
86.
86.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sure Matt will join us for that one.
Yeah, definitely, because we watched that movie so many times, like in the theater originally too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Until all are one.
Yep. You got the touch. You got the power.
Okay. So, do you have anything else to add for this one, Matt?
No, we're good.
All right. So, Ben, here's your first one.
Scott Wozniak. He is a creator out of Ohio, I believe. This kid here is so if the last generation was the angry video game nerd, this generation is more Scott the Woz. Scott the Woz, he's also very he's I got a feeling this is the Christian boy. He's very clean with his stuff. He'll bleep out swears when they come up every once in a while, and it's usually like him like getting like I was so pissed off that I went and blah blah blah, and then like, but he's not like the nerd. I'm just saying like he's the current generation, like he's a version of like filling that mold is because he has a different style to him, but it kind of still fits that same mold of here's either a genre of games or a particular game, and here's somebody who's reviewing it. And it's a classic game usually. He goes to like, as you can see right here, dual releases. Like so, the two Pokemon games they come out, he'll talk about how they connect to each other, or exclusives, games that used to be only like MLB The Show used to be only on PlayStation, and now it's available on everything. Like, and actually, he should be doing a follow up to that where he talks about where there are no more exclusives unless it has Nintendo attached to it.
So, does he talk about like the history of these, or did he talk more about the gameplay of them?
Both. He'll jump
Okay.
into the history. It's almost like whatever he finds interesting about it is what he'll talk about. But now he has a staff. He's starting to work on a secondary channel, which is going to be like his overflow channel. And it's yeah, he's got talent. He puts these skits together every Christmas. He puts a Christmas episode together. Like, and it's always like a full on sketch. What they did like one year was they did a whodunit. One year was he did his own version of It's a Wonderful Life, stuff like that. He does these homages, and it's really it's fun to watch. Because you especially like I said, the Christmas episode is always late.
Mm-hmm.
So he always does a Christmas episode, and it always comes out the first week of January.
Mm-hmm.
But that's part of that. But that's part of the charm. He has done a crossover with the Angry Nerd, but it wasn't an Angry Nerd episode. The Nerd, he did one of his side shows, and he had Got the Woz on as a guest. But I would love to see handing over of the torch episode of the Angry Nerd where he does something with Got the Woz and kind of shows everybody like I'm still around, but this is the new guy type of thing. Because that to me, that's how we feel. He's just like he's a newer generation. Like it's not the same act; it's a different act. but it's still filling that niche of having somebody reviewing the old stuff in a comedic way, but you still come away with like a little bit of education. You learn about the topic, and you have a good time watching it. And there's maybe lines you remember or parts of the sketch you remember, and you can go and say, "Oh yeah, Scott the Waz, he had that one episode where." The one episode where there was a guy, the Wendy's guy, and there's the guy who works the Target guy, and they had it up. It was like it was a who done it type of thing. I forget what game they were doing, but yep, that was my thought. You ever heard this guy?
I've never heard of him before, so this might be something I might want to check out.
Yeah,
You know my feelings on the angry video game nerd, so maybe this.
but it's not the same act. I'm just
He doesn't wait to cover a better one for me.
Yeah, you probably would like this guy. Like he does, like he jokes around every once in a while about being a virgin, and how like I'm such a popular guy, that's why I'm the or something like that. He makes jokes about it, but very seldom. Also, he has this weird obsession with Madden NFL 08 or is it 07? And one of them. If you watch his episodes, he has like a whole stack of them behind him on his desk. And he did a whole episode about it and how, it's 18. Might have been 18. I forget. There's a reason to go watch it, to go find out what the hell I'm talking about.
Gotcha. Nice.
Yep.
All right. Thank you. This one I'll probably hold on to here. All right. Anything else to add for this one, Ben or Matt?
Oh, if you like, because you like board games. That's more of the how Scott the Waz is like with towards it like that. He's more of like creative, story driven stuff. If you watch enough of his episodes, there's reoccurring characters, reoccurring scenarios, stuff that happened in previous episodes. We get here's Madden 08. So was Madden 08. So there's stuff like how he's obsessed with Madden 08 is a reoccurring joke. That it doesn't show up in every episode, but every once in a while they touch on it,
Gotcha. Okay.
Right. Which also like it's since I could still cover it in a future episode. Pat the NES punk has a similar thing, or even the irate gamer has a similar thing where there's like a thread that connects certain episodes.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so we ready to go to the next one?
Let's do it.
Okay. Skallagrim. Okay, so are you sick of playing RPG games using a controller? This might be the channel you want to check out. This guy, what he does is he takes a whole bunch of actual real weapons and he puts them through tests. Like he'll create like what's kind of like a the feel of an actual body, and maybe he'll say, okay, we're gonna put chainmail over that. We're gonna take this rapier, we're gonna see how much damage this is going to do to it. Then we're gonna take this dagger, we're gonna see how much damage this does to it. After each time, he'll like zoom in to see the cut and then lift it up to see how deep it would go into the body and so forth. So you get a sense of like how all these old medieval weapons worked and what they could actually do. So and also he does some videos now and then, like here, rating the fighting stances of characters from Soul Calibur, Killer Instinct, and such, and how useful their stances would actually be in real combat. So if you're curious about different types of blades, or maces or things like that, this is definitely a channel to check out.
That's really cool. I know some people who would really enjoy this channel because they're like into like how stuff like this would work and what it would do.
And he's actually talked about there's the in Star Trek, there's that Klingon blade they have that's like two handles with like three blades or something. Which one?
Left.
Yes, he actually talks about that and has had one like made so that he could try it out.
There's colleges where you can take Klingon as a foreign language.
Yep.
Which, if you want to kill your money, I mean,
there you go.
I don't see the UN hiring any interpreters for Klingon. That's all I'm saying.
Yet.
Now that they have universal translators coming out in the AirPods, so those people might be out of a job actually. But
oh, and hey, look, I just saw he misses the old angry video game nerd.
Well, yeah, because like the new nerd, yeah. Well, we talked about that when I talked about his channel a couple weeks ago. He's kind of like Renaissance now, or he did have a real lull for a couple of years. Once he realized that this channel is putting food on my kid's table, this is feeding my child. It's lit a new fire under him.
All right, we're ready for the next one.
Yep.
All right, Matt, here you go.
Okay, here's one for normal people and also weirdos like me too as well. Most of them, or some of them anyway. Let's see, we got all kinds of stuff. It had some really good people. Yeah, it's a podcast.
Okay.
And it has all kinds of different people.
Matt, go ahead and announce it because there may be people that aren't watching the screen.
Oh, sorry. The Diary of a CEO. And is this guy Stephen Bartlett's a British dude. He's actually has his own companies. He's a pretty successful guy and everything, pretty young. And he just has all kinds of interesting people on there. They're like, like experts, like big people, like this guy that did this AI you see towards the top here. He like worked, like they'll have a couple of different people on here. They're AI people that are like worked in Google and like serious stuff. And like, do you see this ex-Google exec? The next 15 years will be hell. That was really interesting. There's and a whole lot of these people are also into the weird stuff. They meditate and have their sort of non-religious spirituality thing that's kind of like strangely connected to a bunch of psychic stuff that will come up later and will also be extremely entertaining. So yeah, they got they had Gavin Newsom on there, and they have all kinds of interesting people in there, and you see Eric Weinstein in there. He's like a physicist that's really heading a lot of really interesting stuff. It kind of ties back to like UFO stuff, and there's a lot of that. But yeah, all kinds of stuff. I'm kind of new to it, and I'm digging it. And I heard other people are. It's getting a lot of attention now. It's like a big deal. But that's pretty much all I got to say. We can move on. Let's get
it. When I started looking at it, I thought it was going to go with like maybe like financial, but it seems like he's kind of all over the place in big things that are going on.
Yeah.
I was looking at the lineup and I was about to say, like, Mike, maybe you should have moved one of mine over to this one. But yeah, because I thought the same thing. This is going to be about like, oh yeah, I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, I take a shower, and then I get on my helicopter and fly across Manhattan to my office.
It's time to start trading in more gold because that kind of thing. I thought this was, when I saw the title, I thought that's where this would have gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're surprised to see like big names on here. Like, yeah.
It makes me wonder now, like, if there was like actually a podcast where it was like a guy who was a hardcore CEO and maybe he did the podcast like during what few downtime he had, what little downtime he had. And he just like, oh yeah, got on the helicopter on the roof of my apartment building and I went down in the office, did a couple trades, and then I got on my super jet and flew over to Japan. And
I thought you were going to say, when it says he did a couple trains, I thought you were going to say, got in my helicopter, went to the office, did a couple lines of coke.
A couple lines off the back of my secretary.
And that's going to be the actual stories they don't talk about. That, yes.
Exactly. I did see one though towards the top, Ben, that if I can scroll up fast enough to get to it, that you should probably watch. Here you go. Brain experts warning: watch this before using GPT again.
I haven't been using ChatGPT as much as I used to. I almost feel bad because I pay for this every month.
Mm.
How much you pay?
$40 a month, but I'm thinking about jumping over to Duck AI because it uses the same backbone and it's $10 a month. And then it also unlocks like a whole bunch of other benefits from DuckDuckGo.
Cool.
Yeah, including VPN, which I already have a VPN, but it'd be nice to have 2 VPNs.
Yeah, good to know. I'm gonna be doing some I guess experimenting with AI because I've got to
Cheap. If you wanted to also do VO, which is their thing for making videos, VO3 is how you can actually do AI videos with sound. If you want to start playing with that, you want to get the Google's you want to get one of their Google One plans. They have a Google AI One plan, and it's $20 a month or $200 for the year, or $25 a month or $250 for the year if you want to get 5 terabytes, which I did. I should have done the 2 terabyte plan at $200, but I'm like, oh, for $50 more, I can go and get more than double the space. I barely use I don't even use a terabyte. So I'm like, shit, I paid for all this extra room I don't need. But it's you get a certain amount of credits every month, and you get full use of Gemini, which is their AI. It depends on what you want to do with AI. If you're looking to do coding and more scientific stuff, probably go with Gemini. If you're looking to do more creative stuff, look towards OpenAI, which is ChatGPT and Duck.
Okay, and the DuckDuckGo thing, that's like $10, you said?
Yeah. I'm looking. I gotta play around with it more. I'm so used to ChatGPT. The one thing that Duck doesn't have, that ChatGPT does have, is ChatGPT has memory, and memory will remember important aspects from all your conversations. So it actually knows you and can react and kind of guess what you're trying to do, where Duck doesn't have that
Okay,
purposely, because Duck's whole thing is anonymity.
gotcha.
So they purposely don't do that, where it's a really nice benefit in chat because I don't have to explain a thing again, where in Duck I would have to be in that particular chat in order for it to know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So sorry, Mike. I know you hate all the AI stuff.
No problem.
I would say test drive them. A lot of them give you a certain amount of free before they charge you to continue on with the latest model. They'll downclock you to an older model where you'll get dumber answers, or the answers will take longer, or whatever. There's benefits to paying. I paid because I was using ChatGPT so much that I kept running out of free uses of their 4.0 model. Now it's the 5.0 model, and 4.0 is free. So,
Cool.
all right.
All right. Anyone else have anything else for this one?
No.
Okay, Ben, you're up.
Modern vintage gamer. So this guy here, I'm pretty sure he's a programmer of some sort. He is from Australia originally. He lives in the US now. And he is just one of the many reviewers online who talks about the modern vintage side of gaming. It comes from the title, but like stuff like how to hacking the Xbox nowadays is easier than ever. As you see with one of them, the Xbox 360.
Matt's already eyeing this one. Sorry, but Matt's looking at this one, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Which one?
This one right here.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
gonna see this.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
He'll give like quick reviews of like the new system that came out, but like he kind of looks at it like, how does it work with playing like more retro gaming stuff, or to talk about his time when he used to be a game programmer. Yeah, like stuff like right here, like Switch 2 backwards compatibility update, about how like there's new a new update apparently came out for some of the Switch 1 games, I'm assuming. He keeps an eye on all that stuff, the hardware side of it. It's not it's a lot like Digital Foundry, which I think I did in one of the previous episodes, but not as dry as Digital Foundry. He's more there's more personality to the channel. And he's just a fun guy to watch. He's very knowledgeable. It's an interesting take on the world of gaming. Like you're
I'm sorry.
go ahead. What'd you say?
I was just say you mentioned that he's like into like programming. Has he mentioned like he's done any sort of actually programming on games or just like hacking on consoles?
I don't remember. I know he did something even more recently that got picked up by a bunch of people programming wise. I know he's involved in like the whole retro gaming modding scene in some capacity.
Yeah.
So he helps out like Lord Boltar and all those guys. With their did I talk about retro RGB and Bob?
No.
Here? Okay, well that's another channel too where like these people, they're all in the same scene where it's all about if you can, getting the best possible picture out of your console without doing any hardware modifications. But if you do, the least amount of modification possible so it can stay as stock as much as you can is what a lot of these guys are into. And yeah, it's another great gaming channel that I enjoy. And you get to hear his Australian accent. You keep thinking that he is all like, oh, he must be in Australia. No, he's like in Oklahoma or something.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's another one I might check out because a lot of this stuff that like especially look at this emulation stuff. I know quite a bit about emulation now, so it's interesting to see what he's bringing up. I'll probably want to check some of that stuff out.
Here's the PlayStation 5 with its white jacket, as they call it, Dr. PlayStation. Paging Dr. PlayStation.
And you know, with what's going on, interesting with this because what's going on with Windows 10 to Windows 11, one of my plans was when Windows 11 becomes mandatory, I was thinking about picking up a new Raspberry Pi and using that as like my main computer for browsing and everything, and then just transferring stuff over to like my Steam Deck or transferring it over to my Windows 10 system and keeping that offline so I can still run a lot of my gaming off of Windows 10 for as long as possible.
Do you use Chrome for your browsing?
I do use Chrome.
You get a Chromebook and just use that, or you can get a Chrome box and it's a desktop version of Chrome, and you could use
Well,
that.
I'm thinking like Raspberry Pi is not going to run me too much.
I'm just thinking like because the Raspberry Pi, I don't know, like you'd have to set that up with like a Chrome box. You could just buy it and you log into your Google account and you're ready to go.
Well, I could do the Raspberry Pi and just use that to download and then FTP the files back and forth to the computer.
And
And
like if you're looking to actually like interact with your stuff, okay. I thought you were just talking about the system to go browsing the internet with them. Like,
yeah, Raspberry Pi. I can use that for browsing the internet and downloading stuff or whatever, and then just FTP it over to my PC. And that's kind of a cheap way to go.
Chromebooks used to be like the cheap alternatives. You can buy a Chromebook now for over $1,000. I used to sell Chromebooks, and they never even told us. Like they told us about the system that was like $1,000, but they never told us to push it. Because why? Who the fuck would buy one? I think like one got sold in the entire district because like who would buy one at $1,000 for the idea behind the Chromebook is it's a $300 laptop that works as well as a $700 laptop as long as you're doing easy shit on it.
Yeah.
So, so that is Modern Vintage Gamer. We got Matt.
Awesome. Thank you.
Is Matt next?
Yep. Next is me.
Oh, Jew.
Yes, it's me.
Oh, okay. You go ahead.
Taylor Alesia. So, this one's an interesting one because I give this lady some serious credit. She was, she put out a video of how she got to where she was. She was very much into social media and was very addicted to social media to the point where she did go to OnlyFans. And then she rubber band back because she became, she became saved. and she's very much for Jesus at this point. And I just actually discovered her channel just a few days ago, and I've just been watching quite a bit of the stuff that she has here. And she puts out a lot of videos about what you're going to see in like the movies, in the music, entertainment that you might not catch as being anti-religion, anti-Jesus, and also stars that are that way, and you know what's happened to them and so forth. So it's been kind of a lot of the stuff I've heard, but she does a good job on delivering it as well. So it's definitely something that if you're curious about just how Hollywood and music is very anti-God and how it works, she's definitely someone to check out for that.
Mm.
So and more props to her for where she's come from and how she's changed to where she is now.
All right. It's I got some channels that are like in a similar vein to this that I pay attention to.
Mm.
Jim Modesty.
All right, so we ready for the next one?
I'm good.
All right, Matt.
UAP Gerb.
Not in here, you don't.
So this dude's just like he goes into something very particular in the UFO world, like maybe one particular kind of place, one particular kind of story. And this dude just digs up so much information. He just digs it up and it's like almost too much, but it is like it's like, oh damn, about stuff like the deep underground military bases at the very top there you just scrolled past. That one is so worth checking out. It's just like, even though it's like a little bit of too much, just bam, fact. This guy just digs up stuff. He refers to all this stuff. I don't know how this dude has the time for this. And I mean, it's absurd. And this dude isn't like your nerdy looking dude. He is some old nerdy researcher guy. He's a young guy who's an engineer for his day job, and he also likes doing what is that, mixed martial arts. And he looks like the kind of guy that would be like, I don't know, off picking up girls in the club or something, but he's like a genius. And he digs up so much information, and it's like, oh my god, wow, like blow your mind stuff, especially that deep underground base one. We're like, holy cow, this dude has the actual proof that absurd stuff has happened, and we've been paying for it. Like, really mind-boggling. Like, all of our national debt, almost every single dollar of those trillions and trillions of dollars, this is pretty much where it went. And he has the facts, he has the proof, he has the receipts, literally has the receipts. Says, this is how this company did this. Here's the actual proof. Boom, bam, 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 bam. And like, wow. Yeah. Crazy stuff. All right. We
So
can move on.
now
Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of counter you here.
All right.
Especially on things like this. If these things are accurate and he has a proof, why are they still up? That's what question I always ask.
Okay, that's a good question and everything, but like people say, oh well, I mean, how can the government keep a secret? Like this, all the UFO stuff. They don't. Things leak, and then they muddy the waters with a bunch of other garbage related to it, and confusing everybody. So they're like, oh yeah, I heard this is like this. No, here's the proof that shows that's wrong, because they pull up something else that's similar that debunks it. They know what they're doing. They've been doing this for several generations. They've been doing this for like at least like 80 years. And
No,
so,
I'm not saying this guy is not accurate.
Mhm,
It's just a lot of stuff like this, and a lot of media in general and news. I've really started to just question, like, you got to question everything now,
yeah, yeah.
because if it's something that's out there that the media, the government doesn't want out there, then it might not be out there for long. Whereas if it is out there and it's not accurate, or they don't care, then it'll stay out there.
No, here's what the no, I know what you're saying, and that makes sense, except they can't take it down or it makes them look bad. So what they do is they just make it so it's really hard to find them when they search for certain things on YouTube and stuff like that.
Well, YouTube does take a lot of stuff down.
Well,
Seem like that's why that we've never heard of this channel before, because YouTube has been keeping it from us.
yeah, they've been basically suppressing the search and not letting it come up high on people's like algorithms and stuff like that.
Okay.
All right. Well, you're ready to move on.
For this one?
Nope.
Okay, moving to bed.
Company man. Okay, so you know that favorite place you like to go to, or that channel you used to watch, or anything else like these big companies? You ever wonder how they got started or whatever happened to them? Well, that's what this guy does. Every week he releases a quick documentary, usually about 10, 11 minutes long, where he goes over the history. Actually, if you look at it, they're all about 11 and a half minutes long, where he goes over the history of a company, of why they're successful or why did they fail, or a lot of times like the rise and fall and rise again, or PlayStation versus Xbox. How did that happen? He did an episode on how the WWE became from WWF to WWE.
Mm.
It's all like, but he looks at it like a business. Like he looks at the records and he looks at like expense reports and their income and all this stuff, like whatever the publicly traded companies have to release. He looks at all that stuff and just kind of like why, like, yeah, like if a company went out of business, like why did they go and declare bankruptcy? What were they doing at the time? What led to? And you can actually learn a lot from watching his channel. Like spirit stores. How did Spirit Halloween happen? And why do they always show up in a store that just went out of business? And he looks at their entire business model and why that happens. And it's very interesting.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm looking at a lot of the decline of, and I'm like, wow, I actually remember this. And then I realize that, I haven't seen it for a long time. So I didn't even realize that they kind of like Blimpy. I haven't seen a Blimpy in who knows how long. And it's been out of my memory for so long that now seeing it is kind of interesting I may actually go back and find out what happened to Blimpy or Sizzler.
I saw some people eating Subway today, and I was like, oh God, I can't remember the last time I went to Subway. He did an episode on Subway too about how like they were in a lull right now. They actually straightened me out because they're still around after all the shit that they got. That they might be a company that they're gonna pull out of it. You just gotta give them some time. It might be 10 years from now, but they'll pull out of it. But yeah, like right here, Orange Julius versus Smoothie King versus Jamba Juice versus Tropical Cafe. All these places that pretty much release the same product. Or Goodyear versus Firestone. So he does a competitive one once in a while. Right here, the decline of Subway.
Yep.
Was it talking about that? Or Domino's, the rise and fall, and rise again, which I'm sure is also a pun on dough.
Falling dominoes.
Well, he did another one that's a rise and fall and rise again.
Yeah.
And then there's Jollibee. I have so much to say about Jollibee.
Well, why don't you watch this Jollibee episode when you get a chance, and you can go off in the comment section. He has a thing too where you can go to his website and you can actually vote on what he should do next.
Mm-hmm.
So, because he does one of these episodes every week, and it's like eventually, like you're gonna run out of idea, so you gotta start pulling from the audience. Powerball versus Mega Millions. In Connecticut, we could do either one. We have both. But yeah. So there we go. That's the company, man. Buc-ee's. I don't think I've been to a Buc-ee's.
I've never even heard of Buc-ee's.
They're down south. Like in southern, like the southeast. They're big down south, yeah. The decline of the Carvana. I've been looking to getting a new car, and I actually did look into Carvana. But then I remembered that I saw this episode of the decline of Carvana.
That was 2 years ago too. So it's a slow decline.
It's a slow decline. Yeah, Ticketmaster and how they took over Ticketron. Remember they had Ticketron? You go to the mall and you either had to go to like one box office or another, depending on what you wanted to buy, because there were these two competing companies.
Oh, look, the decline of Sega. There you go, Ben.
That's an optical illusion. That says Nintendo. I don't know why YouTube is doing this.
Pretty soon it will be the decline of Nintendo.
I know.
I don't know. I wouldn't put it past them. We'll see. They've been right. Wow.
WCW.
The decline of Guitar Center. Yep. All right. Anyone else have anything for this one?
Nope.
So since we mentioned, what's that?
It's a waste management scandal.
So since we just mentioned Guitar Center, let's go to a music one.
All right.
Davey 504. I'm wondering, Matt, are you familiar with Davey 504?
Nope.
Okay, so Davey 504, he's a bass player. He's a really good bass player, but he has this kind of monotone humor to him. That it hits so well. And in one thing that he does is he kind of like rates bassists and he'll also play as well too. So he did a like, for instance, he did a video which was he was going over Mojo.com's top bass riffs, 10 bass riffs, and he would make comments on it, and then he would sit there and he'd play that actual riff himself and determine if he thought it was a hard riff to play or not. So he's really good at what he does. And actually this one here is that's evidently his wife that he met through a comment on his page. So he's been doing this for a long while, and I kind of fell out of watching his videos for a while, but I'm getting back to watching them, and they're just really, even if you're not a bass player, they're just good fun just to watch and enjoy, because he is actually quite humorous. And he'll bring he has this Korean bassist must be stopped, where he'll bring people will recommend bassists, or he'll find bassists and he'll start showing their videos of them playing. So you get to see, different talented people from around the world through his channel too. So exactly, Ben. I'm guessing that was Ben.
Yeah. Oh, I like the butt bass. Look at that at the top there. I love the butt bass. He's like, ooh, look at that.
Like a nice brown wood.
All right, Matt, you ready?
Let's do this. The Next Level Soul podcast, which is like this totally mellow, nice, normal kind of sounding hippie dude that was made movies and stuff like that, small time stuff or whatever, and he worked in the industry and all that. And then he kind of got into some slightly weird stuff and started having people on, and it became this thing. And he has somebody on almost every day. He has somebody on. And the fun thing for people who aren't into weird stuff, they have people channeling almost like every other episode, maybe. And they will, all of a sudden start talking weird, and all of a sudden they're talking to somebody else who's like some sort of angel or some some galactic federation all talking at once. And this is fun. This is fun to watch. If you don't believe it, especially fun, probably. And I don't believe some of it. I don't know. I'm sure some big percentage of it's probably either insane or deluded people, or just frauds or whatever. But the thing is, I heard that some of these people that actually like do this stuff for a living, I heard that people that I respect, they're like real psychics that have like real stories from people that I respect, said they're legit, said that somebody that does this like psychic medium kind of stuff, they won't be able to do it for very long if they're a fraud. And these are usually people that have been doing this for decades and stuff, And so I think most of them are probably have some sort of psychic ability. And I don't know how realistic the whole, what they're channeling and what they're channeling is. Somebody that might, believe these might be demons that aren't what they think they are or whatever. I can understand that might be a question. I don't know. But yeah, it's interesting. And sometimes it's comedic, but I'm like, I don't know. I'm trying to stay open-minded. Who knows? But yeah, they have interesting point is that I mentioned earlier, the Diary of a CEO guy has lots of interesting people on who are like successful, like some people that helped, with AI revolution and everything, like major, people, major names and stuff. And a lot of these people, they're kind of I'm seeing a crossover, like a Venn diagram crossover of people that meditate and believe like that there's like a heaven that might be not necessarily exactly what you think. It's more of like a how can I say? Imagine that this is a big thing among physicists now, that heaven is a reality and we are in some sort of a school or something experiment. Who knows? Most lately, people usually say a school where our souls come to learn lessons. And nearly all of these people believe in reincarnation, but maybe not all, because some of them are, very Christian. Who knows? You see a lot of people that are very, Christian, and so some of them might not believe in reincarnation. Possibly, I don't know, but yeah, it's a huge thing. And the Diary of a CEO people, a lot of them start talking about the same stuff. It's creepy, weird.
So like these people just channel on his show?
Yep. They'll be like, okay, hang on a second here. And they sometimes make some sounds and get kind of comfy and get in a weird mind. And sometimes they kind of just like zone. And then, hello, how are you? I have a totally different voice,
Okay.
Yeah. And they'll
So they channel a Monopoly guy, it sounds like.
yes, he's popular. Yeah. Oh, greetings, gentlemen and ladies. But yeah, they'll very often have such a ridiculously different voice. You feel like it must be fake, but some of these people are respected. Like no wait, stop for a second. We were scrolling. The black dude in the This Truly Changes Everything. That dude is a little too. I don't necessarily believe that dude, but just this one example of somebody I'm like, I don't think this guy's trying to sell something, and so there's some of that, But this guy on the right here, Bashar's Urgent Prediction, this guy is huge among this kind of, type of people. He's like a massive name. He's huge on TikTok and everything. This dude's been doing it like for 40 years. And he says that he channels a hybrid gray alien that's exists in another dimension, like another alternate version of our reality, who is shifted outside of time, where his people, the gray aliens, came to our planet and what is it? Did this genetic experimentation to help save their people, but that was actually generations ago for him. What was like maybe 20 years ago for us was generations ago for him, hundreds of years ago.
So they're Scientologists?
There might be some in there. I don't know. But yeah, it's weird. Yeah, it's all weird.
What
So
was your prediction, and when was it supposed to happen?
Oh, that guy's prediction? I don't know. I've seen a lot of his things, and this guy hypes it up. This next level soul guy. He does these things that trying to make it like look like, oh, you gotta check out this urgent thing, and usually it's nothing that big, it's just kind of like just trying to get people in there.
Or
And
it's clickbait, basically.
yeah, it's clickbaity, but I watch it a good chunk of the time. I skim through and stuff, and I'll see what they're talking about, and I'll skim through and check out some of the stuff. But it's at least worth it. Entertainment value at least. But there's a commonality in a lot of their messages, like that urgent thing he's talking about. There's a huge thing that a lot of these psychic people are saying that we're in a period of an evolution of consciousness, they say, where people are beginning to awaken to an evolved way of thinking and things like that, and I'm sure you've heard all that stuff. The
Romans didn't do the same thing.
Yeah, and I know the predictions, and this thing is happening. It's been happening forever. I get it.
What would it be if you're one of the last people on the world before everything ends? Wouldn't that be cool? So let's predict that we're at the end times. Let's keep doing that.
Well, the combination, the commonality in their definition of what end times isn't the end; it's a transition.
And speaking of transitions, I'm channeling our another YouTube channel.
Okay.
That's out of Vancouver, Canada. Hosted by a guy named after a character from The Simpsons, actually.
So that means we're moving on to the next one.
Yes.
I had a prediction that was about to. I foresaw that happening.
There you go.
Linus Tech Tips, featuring Linus Sebastian, who you might have seen him on his appearance on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. If not, then that's okay. Most people don't watch Jimmy Fallon. But a lot of people do watch Linus Tech Tips. It is the largest conglomerate of YouTube channels on YouTube. That's not supposed to use the same word twice.
Say that.
Not supposed to say it that way, but he is. Basically what happened is he was working for a store called NCIX. They had a YouTube channel. They asked him to run said YouTube channel. He was very successful with it. Decided to start his own production company. Started up Linus Tech Tips, which led to Short Circuit, Mac Address, all these other YouTube channels that he runs now. And it is a huge percentage of the YouTube audience watching Linus in some form or another, or watching one of his channels. He doesn't host all these things. Like you can only be in one place at a time. You can't be in all the places, and they've been going on for over a decade now, and it's just getting bigger and bigger. And was one of the episodes that they recently bought a fire truck. They don't know what the bleep they're going to do with it, but it was for sale and they bought it. That's what this channel does. That's what Linus does. They spend money like a drunken sailor. You wonder, do they really make this much money from their sponsors? Who they have a sponsor in every single episode, every single video, pretty much. But yeah, you think about, well, how come they always have a sponsor? I'm like, yeah, but they're not asking you for money.
Yeah.
They do have a paywall, as you can see. Some of these members only. And the members only stuff, that's not stuff that, like, if you're not seeing it, you're not gonna be like, oh no, we're not gonna see Linus take a psychopath test. I don't care. I don't tune into this channel. Yeah, he's a personality, but this isn't like the Linus Sebastian show. He just happens to be the head guy on these group of channels that talk about tech. So if you're looking for tech news, for tech information, reviews you can count on, this is a channel where they're so big they can't lie to you because it would hurt their reputation. So I
And this is just one of the many channels.
this is one of like the dozen channels that Linus Media Group runs.
Man.
So if I ever go to Vancouver, I would love to get a tour of the Linus lot. I guess.
And are the different channels, are they like all just as big as this one?
I think there's one or two that are very close to as being as big as this one. Yeah, this is like their flagship channel.
And that's why he can get a fire truck.
That's why they can afford a fire truck. Yep.
That's crazy.
Like right here, they actually did a thing with the fire truck wand. And why don't you look up the fire truck in the search bar?
All right, hold on.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. There's two different search bars.
Fire truck.
Let's see what comes up. Using a backpack to pull a fire truck from 2
Let's just click on it. Well, no, well, what do we get here?
Oh, wait, I turned my fire truck into a home theater. Cooling a PC with a fire truck. So they found, here's the one where he actually gets my biggest unboxing ever. He actually unboxes the fire truck.
Jeez.
And it came in a crate. Whether or not it came in a crate or they just put the crate around it, failing or not, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Yeah, I think they bought it from like there's a town in California that sold all their fire trucks off. So this is not the only video I've seen where somebody was buying a fire truck. So
Listen,
they got it from.
If you have this many viewers, you can go out there, you can buy these crazy things, and it's going to be off the wall just you getting them, but you're going to turn them into something, some wild video, and then people like us are going to see this and be like, cooling a PC with a fire truck that makes no sense. Let me go ahead and click it.
Yeah.
And you're just making more money that way.
And you look at it, that's 1.2 million views.
No,
Yeah.
I'm looking at the 12 million views because somebody liked some fire truck toy.
That was 13 years ago. That's his first video or something like that. Yeah, that was.
So this whole fire truck thing was planned from the beginning.
It was planned from the beginning.
Because he's also a guest on the Next Level Soul podcast because he was psychically predicting it.
Yes.
He channeled the fire truck. Sorry.
Yeah, he doesn't do a lot of guest spots, but he was. I was surprised to see that he was on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, where he went on there after appearing, or after making, after being at one of the conventions. Do they still do E3? That's still a thing. Well, he's at one of them, and because he is Linus Sebastian and he has all this tech stuff and he has like millions of viewers, he's VIP, so they give him shit. You know, you go in there with nothing and you walk out and you got a backpack full of gear. And he took that gear to the Tonight Show and showed some of it off. And I think that was like the moment where, like, to me at least, where I'm like, wow, he really is a big deal. And your laundry's ready.
Yes. The cleaning is done, which means we've gone for at least an hour now, which is good.
Let's go on, Mike. You have the last one.
Last one is going to be just for fun. Now, this is kind of actually cheating. This one is called Lifewithbaz. And the reason why this is cheating is because this channel is actually really small because this guy is more active on like Instagram, and that's really where I see him. But the fact that he has a channel and he has his videos on here make it legit for this. So what this is, it's this guy and his girlfriend, and his girlfriend, I believe, is Colombian, and this has to be like total parody because the things that he does, he would be dead. He puts her through just these crazy things, like just to say it the nice way, he does a skit where he says, he's saying that some girl came up to him in the gym and he says, hey B, my girlfriend is dangerous, and say he says my girlfriend is dangerous B. I'm editing that word out just to be nice, and to see how she reacts to it. And like he takes her out to dinner, and he takes her they pull into the parking lot of Twin Peaks to see how she's going to react. And she has that very how do I say, explosive attitude to her, I guess. I don't know if that's a way to say it or not, but I'm sure you get an idea. That it's just really funny to watch it happen. So, and I've actually sat down with Maria and watched some of these, and Maria, like that when I was telling you about where he says that about her, Maria, like, her, when he heard what he said to her, Maria's eyes was like, no. So it's just a whole bunch of fun to watch, and I'm actually gonna click one just to show you guys to see how crazy this kind of gets. So he does a flinch test on her, and watch what happens when she goes after him. Boom, throws up the chocolate that quick. And then how did you spawn that so fast? So it's kind of like it's just something you kind of sit down and watch and just get humor out of it. But if you do, he doesn't post much here on YouTube, but he does show up on Instagram, also under Lifewithbaz.
Cool.
So, and
with that, a lot on the table here, guys. We have enough, I think, for week 4 of this down the road. So,
yeah, we could probably look into visiting this, probably like revisiting in November or so.
yeah.
Give us some time, and then find the channels that we do want to bring on here.
Yep. So we're going to be talking about the Street Fighter movie coming up. Matt, do you want to stick around for that, or do you got to go?
I'm gonna say peace out, y'all.
Thanks for coming on, Matt.
No problem. It was fun. Later.
Later. I'm from your planet.
Peace out, and may the force be
out.
All right.
Wow, that timed perfect. I was doing the sound effects just as he left.
Oh, and there goes my dishwasher too.
Wow, all your stuff. Does it all sing?
Yes, it does, actually.
Are they all from the same company? So they sing the same song?
No, it's different songs. Like when I turn on the TV, it's a lodi hodi ho, lodi hodi ho.
I didn't know they made TVs in Europe.
Yep, that's how it goes.
My sister, when she lived in Sacramento, she had like a penthouse apartment, and she had Samsung everything, and they all played the same song.
Mm-hmm.
You set all your stuff up, and you could have all your machines go and start singing at the same time. It'd be like some kind of warped Disney movie.
All right, so let's talk about the Street Fighter movie, because I put out a short about Street Fighter, and actually, I'm tempted to go there because there was a comment that was left that I'm going to go ahead and do it. So I'm going to go to how am I going to get to it, because I'm on this browser. I'm trying to close out all these tabs for all the YouTube channels we had to make it kind of less messy. So I guess I'll go to the BM show, which you know what, we should on episode 4 we should talk about the BM show. That's a good one that neither of us, I don't think, have brought up yet.
Yeah.
So we'll have to do that one. Okay, so I guess we could make this you speak, re-regurgitate. And I'm gonna bring this one up because I want to go ahead and share this one. So you speak and re-regurgitate. So Sandy is not Gomez. Of course, I'm protecting the name. Thumbs up for Guile background character HJ. Yes, we need that character in the movie. Because if we're we need to bring in all the background characters. We need to make this movie out of control huge. If we're gonna bring in one, we bring them all in.
Okay.
So that's my feelings on it. So you wanted to go ahead. You had some choice words for me.
Well, when you want to bring up the list of who's playing in the movie, because I don't know this off. I didn't have any choice word. It just was like you didn't know who some of these people were. So I was gonna go.
Okay, yeah. So let's bring it up here. So it would help if I hit share instead of cancel.
Yes.
Or select. There we go. All right. So we're gonna play our own video on the BM show. So if we get hit with a copyright and we're taken down next week, just know it was our own doing.
We're gonna take ourselves down.
Okay. So let's go to the cast. So tell me when, because I go through this cast pretty quick. So tell me when to stop.
Okay. I don't know who this is. I don't know who this is. Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes. Okay, so remember Hulk Hogan?
Yes.
He's the modern day Hulk Hogan. He's the big guy and the big star in WWE right now. So
Okay. So he's a wrestler.
yes.
Just like Guile. So the only thing I could think of Guile had that was actually wrestling was he had that backdrop.
Yeah, like so he had that suplex, that back suplex that he does.
Yeah. If Cody Rhodes in the Street Fighter movie does that upside down kick that I believe is a roundhouse when you're playing, I will give Cody Rhodes credit for being an accurate Guile.
Now
That's my benchmark.
Cody Rhodes is also in the new Naked Gun movie.
Okay.
He just plays a bit part where he helps Frank with some information after getting encouraged to give that information.
Gotcha. So let me ask you. So you're familiar with Street Fighter 2. So you're familiar with Guile, and you're familiar with Cody Rhodes. Be honest. Do you think this is going to be a good match?
I think he's a better match than Jean-Claude Van Damme was for the role.
I mean, come on. Anything would pretty much be better than what Jean-Claude Van Damme did, because these. I don't know. Okay, so yeah.
What to do with the role? Like, if they make him like the central character, does he have to have a character arc? Does he have to show emotions?
I want that hair. I want that hair on him.
And they'll probably do that. Yeah, he's gonna get written off of WWE TV along with everybody else who's in the movie because they have to go record it. They always do the same thing. They just go and say like, "Oh, they just broke his leg. He's gonna be out for a couple months or something," and they're out forming like. We know they're doing a movie. Just go and have them come out and say, "Hey guys, I'm gonna be gone for 3 months to go do this movie. Remember me." I don't know, but whatever.
Honestly, off of lore, they should not put Guile as the main character.
It should be Ryu and Ken because
it should be Ryu and Ken.
1 and Street Fighter 2 are supposed to be about them. Yeah.
Yes, and we're going to talk more. We're going to revisit that a little bit later.
All right,
but
let's keep going with the cast. We're getting one.
For Guile just needs to be a supporting character.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go on. I promise. There we go.
Oh, we know who 50 Cent is.
Yeah. I'm gonna start speeding up. The next one, after the next one, I'm gonna start speeding up. Tell me if you want me to stop though.
Okay, well. Sorry.
I have a lot.
Silence.
I have a lot to say about this one, for good reason.
Yeah, you guys don't want to go back and watch Mike's video about this. You could read it if you're watching. We get the subtitles up at the top there.
Okay, I'll actually want to go back for a second.
Yeah.
I definitely want to go back for a second and catch this one right here. Because why? I am a Dhalsim character player, and that's actually how I learned how to play Street Fighter, was using him. This is weird. Because nationality wise, he probably fits. Are they going to shave his head? Are they going to make him actually like Dhalsim, or are they going to take Dhalsim in a different direction now? Because he doesn't look like the how do I say, father type character, spiritual type character that Dhalsim was. And I don't know if they have Blanca, are they going to have his limb stretch? Because Blanca already is awkward. If they make Blanca, it's already going to be an awkward movie. Are they just going to say, you know what, forget it, we're going to make this Street Fighter movie
a little cartoon?
Exactly, make it like throwing fireballs and uppercuts, and are they?
You might as well try it. They did that was one of the things that they failed on in the first one, is they weren't until the end of the movie, they weren't like sci-fi-ish or cartoonish.
Well, they can legit make him breathe flame at least.
Yeah.
But are they going to stretch his limbs? And is he even going to fit the actual characteristics of this character, or is it going to be something different, something new and original? Who knows?
Let's keep going. What else we got?
Okay. Sorry, I was going fast there. That's where I went really fast. I know that was one that you wanted to talk about. Right there.
Roman Reigns is Akuma.
Yeah.
Okay, so Roman Reigns is for a long time they were trying to make him the next John Cena, and they were like forcing him down people's throats. And it's when they finally turned him into a bad guy, is when people started to like him. Which is a tale as old as time in wrestling. I don't know. Isn't it like the Akuma characters are? I don't know anything about enough about him. I know he's the one who trained Ryu and Ken.
So think of him kind of as, no, he's not the one that trained him. Think of him kind of as, I want to say a little bit like Darth Vader in a way. He gave into the dark arts. And essentially you could look at him as being an evil power possessed character.
You might have seen Roman Reigns in that Hobbs and Shaw movie. Did you see that?
I saw that, yes.
So he was in Hobbs and Shaw. He's literally legitimate cousins with Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Mm.
So whether or not he's a good actor, I've never seen him in anything other than on wrestling. So if he was good in Hobbs and Shaw, then he'll do good. If he sucked in that, then he'll be even worse.
Well, here's the next thing you got to know about Akuma. He is essentially like, he's basically a character like Ryu and Ken. So he's not a wrestler. And actually, I believe he has the shortest life bar out of all the characters because of all the advantages he gets in his attacks. So, knowing that he's essentially like Ryu and Ken, just a possessed, possessed by an evil power type of character, Ryu and Ken, does that sound like this guy is going to fit that role?
Not really. I'm sorry, but I don't think our tribal chief, I mean, that's his character in wrestling. He's the tribal chief, the original tribal chief. He was the original leader of what they call the bloodline, which is just this entire Samoan family that like a ton of them are in wrestling. So they love the bloodline. Yeah, I don't know. I don't. It's scary, this lineup. All right, let's keep going.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can like play and pause really quick. Go on.
I have no idea. Nope.
And then I'm going to go back here. So it's kind of sad how much I remember doing this video already. Gonna go back to Dan, and then here's next.
Nope.
And then I think I have one more
There's a character from Germany. This is how much I know about Street Fighter.
No, she is. Well, yeah, she is, but she's actually the daughter of another character that's from Mexico.
Oh, okay.
So what you kind of missed with not getting into Alpha, because this is a Street Fighter Alpha 3 character. And this character is so irrelevant to the rest of the cast. This is the most bizarre. No, this is almost the most bizarre pick on this list. I can see how they're going to work it because this essentially is a doll, which Cammy is a doll. Prior to Street Fighter 2, when the Alpha universe is going on, basically Bison had an army of dolls, basically. And they're very similar in their move set.
And when you say dolls, you don't mean like a toy doll. You mean like a woman assassin,
Yes, kind of like a brainwashed woman assassin.
kind of like Charlie's Angels, but they're called dolls. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So and there were I think off the top of my head I can think of like 6 of them or something like that. Cammy was one, but she broke out of the whole brainwashing stuff that was going on. Julie was the daughter of T-Hawk. And during the Alpha series, she was very much brainwashed. I think her ending, she breaks out of the brainwashing or something like that. But she's only in the Alpha series. After that, she's gone. So, and she's also only really available in the home versions. I don't think you could use her in the arcade version unless you got it into dramatic battle mode, which I think there's a way to get in dramatic battle mode where you play 2-on-1. And then after that, she's just like gone. So this is just an awkward choice because she wasn't a very good character as it is. And I'll say that even knowing that she's a character that I used, but I knew she was bad, and that's kind of why I enjoyed using her. So, all right, so we'll move on, and then we got the crazy one here after a second here. I can't move it because now I have that meet-in shared window is in the way. So there we go. Do you want me to stop on this guy at all?
Nope.
Okay. So yeah. So this is a Street Fighter 1 guy that you face. That's the only time you really ever see him. Is Street Fighter 1. You fight him. He's the first person that you fight in the USA. And yeah, so there we're gonna pause it there because we're gonna end on that one. But I'm trying to imagine with this character Joe, since he's just Street Fighter 1, are they just going to bring him in at like maybe the very beginning or something and watch him get the crap beat out of him? Like that's how they introduce Ryu or something like that is the first match is Ryu versus Joe. And then you just watch him get the beat down, and then he's no longer in the movie because he's not really relevant to the Street Fighter story at all.
I don't know. I just know that if they don't, I don't know if they're gonna feel obligated to stick too strongly to the story. Maybe they should have been just like.
Well, they're not. They're not. Go ahead.
I think that instead of picking actors to fit the roles, they might have been picking roles to fit the actors.
Yeah, and it's 100% true because I mentioned that they don't have Sagat.
Yeah.
And in my, I put a comment over here. I responded to this person who was talking about how they didn't have somebody tall enough to fit the role. I put it the best way possible. Here's what I want you to picture, Ben. The first Super Mario movie comes out. Okay. Who is the main villain of Super Mario Brothers?
Bowser.
Or maybe I say Super Mario overall. Who's the main villain of Super Mario?
Mario.
Main villain? Would you still say it's Bowser?
That's just a theory, a game theory. But yeah.
Okay. Who is the main villain of Street Fighter?
That would be Bison.
M. Bison, or depending on if you're Japan, Vega. So dictator, basically.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm assuming you probably don't know the big relevance of Sagat, other than he's the second to last boss that you face, right?
Yep.
Here's the thing. If they made the Super Mario movie and they said this, well, we're going to have Mario in it and we'll have Luigi, and they're going to be fighting against M. Bison, and then somebody says, okay, well, what about Donkey Kong? Donkey Kong? Why would we put Donkey Kong in a Mario movie? What does Donkey Kong have to do with Mario? That's the exact same example that would fit Sagat 100%. Because if you go back to Street Fighter, the first game itself, the main villain in Street Fighter 1 was Sagat.
And the main villain in Mario's first game is Donkey Kong.
Also, if you remember in Street Fighter 2, he had that big scar across his chest. That was given to him by Ryu in the first game when Ryu uppercutted him and knocked him out. So there's always been this rivalry between Ryu and Sagat, this whole series where Sagat's been basically wanting to reface him and defeat him. It's 100% Mario and Donkey Kong. And they just totally left. That's the one character they just totally left out of the story.
Well, we'll have to wait and see when it comes out. And that'll be when, I don't know, when's the release date? They have a release date yet?
I think it's sometime in 2026. We don't know. But make sure to write your, I think we said this on this, but write your senators and mention that you want this guy here, the guy in the Guile background getting the HJ, you want him in the Street Fighter movie.
Oh, okay. And I think with that, we're ready to start taking this home. Got anything else? What are we doing next week?
Next week is going to be fun because we're going to talk about our music tastes and how it's changed decade by decade, or what we were listening to decade by decade. So I'm assuming we're probably going to start with the 80s to the 90s to 2000s to 2010s to now.
That sounds good.
Also, we may have a couple reviews. We haven't decided on this. So we're just going to say they're going to be surprise reviews if they happen. But they'll very much fit.
All right. And with that, Mike, you got the last word.
Sagat.